We all know about ESPN NFL 2K5, and if for some strange reason you found your way to a SOFTDRINKTV video and have not heard the story of ESPN NFL 2K5, I'd recommend you go check out my retrospective on that game. But NFL 2K3 is an NFL 2K game I rarely hear about or see discussed online. Many claim that 2K4 was arguably better than 2K5, and I can understand that perspective, as 2K4 had better draft logic, tighter gameplay, and some other positives, although the presentation wasn't nearly as good as 2K5's. But what about NFL 2K3? 2K3 was the first NFL 2K that really gave EA a run for their money. The franchise mode, AI, graphics, and player animations took the series to the next level coming from NFL 2K2. The presentation especially took a huge leap, now featuring ESPN integration, something that would come to define this iconic series in time. They took what ESPN NFL Primetime 02 did, a failed Konami NFL game I have a video on, and executed it at a much higher level. They saw the vision and they made it come to life. Brian Urlacher on the cover actually meant something. 2K was done playing around. This was a game for football purists, for hard hits, for stellar AI. And 2K was going to put up a tough fight against Madden, NFL Game Day, and NFL Fever. 2K was going to put in more effort than their competition, and they weren't going to stop until they were the best at what they do. This is why I always preach competition with these sports games. You can very easily see a difference between these older titles that had to fight for your attention versus the complacency seen in Madden today. A game that has nothing to fight for and prints money no matter what due to EA's monopoly. NBA 2K is in a similar position ever since NBA Live died out, but unlike EA with Madden, at least they can argue that they earned their spot, unlike EA who paid to win. ESPN was to NFL 2K what John Madden was to Madden. This is what gave their game credibility and made it authentic and not just another NFL game. This took the series to the next level, along with a new franchise mode that blew Madden 03 away. The ESPN partnership with 2K was so successful that EA eventually bought the ESPN license themselves after signing that exclusive deal with the NFL, and then EA proceeded to barely use the license, but they did buy it. NFL 2K was the only NFL series to truly take full advantage of that ESPN license. And while ESPN isn't the same as it once was, just like these sports games, in fact it has fallen off hard as a network in recent years, back in 2002, over 20 years ago, ESPN was the pinnacle of sports television and entertainment, and NFL 2K3 was the first NFL 2K game to not only deeply integrate the license, but to feature it proudly. This shift not only positioned NFL 2K above its other rivals, but it also changed football gaming forever, as it built the foundation for the greatest football game ever made, and it started 2K's revolutionary fight against EA that has resulted, sadly, in over 20 years of nothing but EA-developed Madden titles. This game right here, NFL 2K3, this was the turning point. Let's dive in. When you first boot up the game, you're greeted with a SportsCenter video clip with Dan Patrick announcing that ESPN partnership with 2K Sports, which sets the tone early. And then you're greeted by a simple yet elegant menu system that clearly matches that retro ESPN vibe. One of the coolest features in NFL 2K3 no longer exists. It's called Sega Sports Challenge. After creating a user profile, the game would track your stats and scores, and then give you a code to input on the Sega Sports website, where you could then see where you rank amongst all other players, which was pretty advanced for a 2002 game. Through the Internet Archive, I was able to pull that website back up, and while the embedded Flash files don't work for obvious reasons, at the bottom left you can see the Sega Sports Challenge logo, along with the option to enter that code. Below it are the top 5 overall players in NFL 2K3 as of October 1st of 2002. Today, in 2025, X-Link, Overdog, XX1, Stunna1XX, Johnny5, and LC Howard 31 get to share the limelight once again. I wonder what these legends are up to today. This game had a surprising amount of depth for its time, although not compared to later PS2 Maddens or ESPN NFL 2K5. But for 2002, the depth here is exceptional, starting with settings. You can truly customize sliders, visuals, and weather. Being able to customize time of day, temperature, precipitation, wind speed, and fog are options I miss greatly today. Create a Team was in NFL 2K3, but it wasn't as in-depth as Create a Team from Madden at the time. Still, it's a nice feature, and you can use created teams in any game mode. You can type your own city and team name, but the logos and uniforms are presets you choose between, so you don't get to make your own uniform or choose colors or anything like that. This is where Madden had 2K beat, but fast forward to today and Create a Team isn't even a thing in Madden. It's been absent since Madden 13. There is Team Builder, starting with last year's Madden 25, but it requires you to manually design the team on a web browser, not in-game, and it can only be used for franchise mode. MLB The Show is the best sports game for creating a team today, from uniforms to the entire stadium, all within the game itself, and Madden needs to catch up. But back in 02, what 2K3 added was fine, just not as good as what EA was doing back then. Create a Playbook was a feature, but unlike Madden 03, there was no creative formation or create a play. You simply created a playbook by choosing plays from existing playbooks. But again, Madden 25 is basically using this exact system, as create a play has completely died for some reason, so we can't knock 2K3 for that too much. Where 2K3 really shined was with its numerous game modes and franchise mode. While ESPN 25th Anniversary Mode, The Crib, and First Person Football were not game modes yet like they are in 2K5, the modes 2K3 did have built the foundation for 2K to add on to in the future. Playoff mode let you jump into a season starting with the playoffs, and you could actually customize conferences, divisions, and import created teams here. You could also start the playoff mode with a fantasy draft. There was also a standard season mode. Tournament mode was similar but more customizable. Instead of the usual NFL playoff format, you could select between 4, 8, or 16 teams, some CPU controlled or some human controlled, invite some friends over, optionally start a fantasy draft, and play a quick tournament together. This would be an awesome feature today with online gaming. Imagine inviting your friends to a lobby where you set up a custom tournament with all your custom rules with a fantasy draft instead of having to start an entire online franchise. That would be sick, but instead, tournament mode is completely absent in the last decade plus of Madden titles. Situation mode is another mode I miss greatly. You could customize the exact parameters of a situation and then jump right into it, try and complete it, and then restart when it ends to try again if you fail. Today, a feature like this could be awesome, especially if players could upload custom situations for others to download and try themselves. Like tournament mode, it no longer exists in any capacity. Even regular exhibition mode had something going for it. Classic teams, alumni teams, and an AFC, NFC, and an all-NFL team. Classic teams were awesome, but similar to old college football games, they didn't use real player likenesses. In 2K5, if there was overlap, they'd fill the roster with real players if they were still in 2K5, but in 2K3, no matter the year, every historic team has generic likenesses, but ratings are adjusted to match the actual roster. So while classic teams were better in 2K5, the fact that they existed at all in 2002 and yet don't exist at all in 2025 is absolutely insane. Even practice mode has something you don't see anymore, special move. This let you and a friend share the field together with no other players, no plays, no objective. Just 2 players and a ball, running around, messing with the controls and tackling each other. I wish 2K3 and all NFL 2K games in general had a mode like Minicamp or 2-minute drill, however, as those were in Madden 03. Franchise mode is where NFL 2K3 took that next step. NFL 2K2 didn't have an in-depth franchise mode, so 2K not only made one, but made a crazy one that was deeper than Madden 03's. This is likely what pushed EA to go so hard on franchise mode with Madden 04 when they introduced Owners Mode. See what happens when you have competition between 2 or more NFL games? The franchise modes actually improve rather than get worse over time, like with modern Madden. You could import draft classes from 2K's last college football game, NCAA 2K3. Like in other modes, you could customize divisions and conferences and import a created team. When making your coach, you actually get more body type options than you do in Madden 25. And yes, there was a weekly wrap-up show. We all know the SportsCenter wrap-up show from 2K5, but 2K3 had a more simple show that created that foundation for what would be the greatest presentation ever seen in an NFL video game. Instead of Chris Berman, you had Clark Dishman going over the games played that week in stats, and then you'd get one highlight of the week, a video highlight in franchise mode. That is insane for 2002. Madden 03 had nothing like this, and even modern Madden has nothing like this. The entire mode is fleshed out with new visuals. You enter the GM's office when viewing contracts. You hop on a computer to view stats on ESPN.com and more. I really like how you could view player cards with one button press, and how there's a specific stats section called Rookie Watch where you could see specifically how the rookies are performing. You could even view Pro Bowl voting. Scouting rookies was very in-depth too. You could view them mid-season, and then during the combine you could assign hours to scout them and get detailed reports on each player. There was even a mock draft, something EA only added to Madden a few years ago. While signing players wasn't yet as in-depth as it would be on 2K5, the draft experience was nearly identical. Without having to back out of any screen, you could quickly switch between seeing your roster breakdown, scouted players, the draft results so far, and prospects, and sort prospects by anything from 40 time to GPA. Somehow the user experience from 02 made more sense and provided a better experience than what EA can do with Madden 25. Again, the exclusive and only Sim NFL game for 20 plus years now. This extreme jump from 2K2 to 2K3 is likely what pushed EA to go hard at Madden 04. That's what competition is all about. You might feel annoyed that I keep comparing this game to modern day Madden, but honestly I have to, because Madden is 20 plus years newer than this game, and it should blow this game away in every single category, and instead, NFL 2K3 looks good in comparison. That is not okay. Gameplay in NFL 2K3 was very good, but not quite as good as where the game would head with 2K5 and 2K8. Running the ball is quite challenging without a truck button or a highlight stick. I'm not sure why trucking wasn't an option here, as these are the controls. To run the ball, you essentially try and follow blocks without using the sprint button and hope you get lucky and break some tackles, and only sprint to hit an open hole or break a long run after you get past the linebackers. You can juke and stiff arm if in position to do so, but I found it pretty challenging to hit the open field in the first place as a running back. CPU running backs seem pretty unstoppable though. Defensively, dive tackles are awesome, look great, and you can dive farther than you'd think to make a tackle, and the broken tackle animations are pretty sweet looking. Defensive backs are kind of dumb in man coverage, and while they can and will jump a pass for a pick in a zone, when in tight man coverage on a vertical route, they seem to follow their man without trying to play the ball, resulting in completions when throwing it into tight coverage more often than not on vertical routes. Pass breakups are common if you try to force a pass into a tight window in the middle of the field though. Play selection isn't as good as Madden's, and it's still similar to older NFL 2Ks here. There's also no Ask Coach option, so you need to manually choose every play. But for its time, this was considered the most realistic playing NFL video game ever. Madden 03 was smoother on the field and more polished, with hot routes and more controls, and player movement was more fluid. But 2K3 had more advanced play development, which is key. It had better blocking AI, and it had better ball trajectory when throwing deep passes. In 2K2, a common complaint was that running the ball was too overpowered. So they tried to tweak that, but instead they made it too underpowered as a result here. It gets way more refined in 2K4 and 2K5. What's important is that every team plays like they should. Brady and the Patriots are genuinely unstoppable, and blitzing Brady does not work at all. He'll carve you up. Lower rated players fall for play action or pump fakes more often, and every play is an unknown, where every single player on the field has individual decision making, which is very different from Madden, where plays follow a more polished but more scripted design. So almost anything can happen on any given play in 2K3. There are no scripted outcomes. To win, you need to call the right plays and attack your opponent's weaknesses, so checking out their roster before a game is actually important. We've gotten away from this in recent years as games become more and more online focused. Modern sports games rarely touch CPU AI because they assume most people will be playing online, and comp players complain if the CPU plays too well because they want to win or lose only due to user error, not from a non-user player going off. I miss these older days when creating an authentic NFL sim against the AI was the goal, rather than trying to create a competitive online game with a skill gap that's actually pay to win for the sake of higher profit. Presentation is where this game fully built out the foundation for ESPN NFL 2K5. Using that new ESPN license, everything in the game was ESPN themed, from the scoreboard to replays to pregame, halftime, postgame, and more. The pregame show gives you a glimpse of each team's players with some cool pictures scrolling through, and then goes on the field to show players warming up while the commentary provides analysis, and then there is a coin toss. Mid-game, there will be replays of big plays, and you'll even see some yellow circles drawn on the screen from replays from Peter O'Keefe. The crowd gets super loud. Listen to them chanting for the Jets right here.
Right here, Dan, they can put this one away if they somehow get into scoring range.
They're going for the first out on 4th and 10.
Player models looked so good for their time, and for 2002, this game had the best presentation of any NFL game before it. Of course, what 2K4 and 2K5 did next was even more impressive, but 2K3 set that foundation up, forever changing the course of NFL video game history. NFL 2K3 was only the beginning. By giving Madden 03 a run for its money, EA had to go extra hard on Madden 04, which then incentivized 2K to go even harder the next year and deliver the greatest NFL video game ever made with ESPN NFL 2K5. 2K unfortunately went too hard by releasing 2K5 for only $20, resulting in EA happily appeasing the NFL by signing an exclusive deal with them to avoid price wars and of course competition. EA still holds this deal to this very day, and the innovation of NFL video games has clearly stopped. But when you look back at 2K3, you can see exactly how hard EA and 2K were pushing each other and what that led to. Had 2K3 not set the bar that high, Madden 04 wouldn't have had to have been as good, and 2K5 likely wouldn't have been the game it ended up becoming. 2K took a risk by signing a deal with ESPN, something Konami had already tried to do but failed to capitalize on, and the butterfly effect of that one decision led us to where we are today. I just wish the NFL waited a bit longer to sign that exclusive deal. Imagine how good an NFL 2K11 would have been. While 2K has fallen off greatly today, there was a period of time in the late 2000s and early 2010s where they could do no wrong, at least in my eyes. Even a modern NFL 2K would be something new and fresh, even if it had the same over-monetization issues NBA 2K faces. NBA 2K does not have competition anymore, and the series has stagnated as a result. But if NBA Live was still around, I'm sure NBA 2K would be better. It would have to be better. Same goes for a hypothetical NFL 2K game. It would be competing with Madden, and as a result, both titles would be better than if they stood alone. All I want is a return to competition, and for the NFL to sign a non-exclusive deal with multiple companies so EA doesn't hold the exclusive sim rights hostage anymore. It's impossible to play NFL 2K3 without thinking about all of this. This game was the pivotal NFL 2K game that changed sports gaming forever, and nobody knew it at the time. Seeing what could be accomplished in 02 should anger you, knowing what's available in 2025. It certainly angers me. Thanks for watching.